Mute all electronic devices, including cell phones. Also at this time, I would invite each of you to stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Applications for rezoning requests will be heard during tonight's meeting, and the commission will vote on those applications and make a recommendation to the county council. Public comment should be limited to 3 minutes per person for the sake of time. We will ask the public not to repeat previous testimony. If you're planning to speak, please fill out one of our speaker cards, which are located over here, and return them to Ms. Hayes here at this desk. Applications will then be scheduled to be introduced before the county council at the Monday, June 9th, 2025 county council meeting. Applications for preliminary plats heard during tonight's meeting will be voted on by the Planning and Zoning Commission during the meeting. The vote on preliminary plats is final. Only a recommendation for denial of a preliminary plat will be heard before the county council at their June 9th, 2025 meeting. The following documents are introduced as a matter of record for this evening's public hearing and regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Those documents are the Unified Development Ordinance of St. Charles County, including zoning maps, the year 2030 Master Plan for St. Charles County, which includes the year 2030 Future Land Use Plan Map, and the Rules of Order and Procedure for the Planning and Zoning Commission as adopted by Resolution 21-01. I see we have a quorum. Is there a motion to open a meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to open a meeting. All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're in business. A little brief rundown is how we conduct the meeting. I read into the record the application. And then I will ask the staff for their report regarding the application. The members of the commission may or may not have questions at that time. Then we'll ask the applicant to come forward and present their application, answer any questions that members of the commission may have. Then we will open the public hearing. Okay. If you're going to speak, well, I said already, fill out one of our cards. But with the public hearing, I have to swear you in, okay, in the public, during part of the public hearing. Once the public hearing is closed, then we will ask the applicant to come back and address any issues that may have come about during the public hearing, okay. But once the public hearing is closed, unless there's a request by a member of the commission, we'll take no more comments from the public. And then after that, we will consider the application and we'll vote. So that's sort of a rundown of how this meeting is operated. So the first item there's no changes to the agenda. So the first item is a zoning map amendment request located at 3150 and 3152 Highway T. This is application RZ 25-04. The property owners are Pintail Properties LLC, which is 3150 Highway T, and English Square Residence Building LLC, which is 3152 Highway T. The applicants are Pintail Properties, Greg Farron and Joseph Farron, and English Square Residence Building LLC, Dustin English. The current zoning is C1 Neighborhood Commercial District. The proposed zoning is C2 General Commercial District. The 2030 Master Plan recommends commercial land uses. The rezoning would be 1.77 acres, which consists of the two parcels. The location is 3150 and 3152 Highway T, located on the north side of the intersection of Highway D and Highway T. This is 1 mile east of the Warren County line. This is located in Council District 2. Staff.
Good evening, everybody. Per purpose of this application is the rezoning of 2 adjacent parcels totaling 1.77 acres from C1 Neighborhood Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District. As you said, the location, intersection of Highway T and Highway D, 1 mile east of the Warren County line. The 2 adjacent parcels are 3150 and 3152 Highway T. Letters were sent to the landowners in a 1,000-foot radius around the subject parcels, and agencies were notified, fire districts, school districts, and utility agencies. 0 responses for this application. This area of the county is Southwest County. This little node is kind of like a small rural commercial node here. The subject parcel is 3150 Highway T, is Centerfield's convenience store. That was constructed in 1982, and T&D Tavern is at 3152 Highway T, and that was constructed in 1936. These parcels have actually been zoned commercial since the inception of zoning from the county since 1959. Interesting about these 2 parcels is the larger 8-acre parcel that wraps around the subject parcels on the 3 sides. This parcel here was rezoned from agricultural district to C2 general commercial district back September 2023 with a conditional use permit that was associated with it for an outdoor storage yard that no developments happened, still remains an open field. The applicant's intent, as staff understands, is to purchase some of this land that's zone C2 to the north of these subject parcels to build additional parking, which I'm sure maybe they can discuss more when they come up. Some quick analysis on why the rezoning is not anticipated to cause land use conflicts per staff. The permitted and conditional land uses would be consistent while having uniform C2 zoning north of this intersection. The area surrounding this commercial node is largely undeveloped, so there's only a few neighbors, mostly cultivated farm plots, and a few low commercial uses. Forgot to mention the little auto repair shop to the south there. The intersection is the other commercial use. Limited utilities at this intersection, so no public sewers, which really prohibits the intensity and scale of the commercial uses that can be built here at this time. And lastly, the lack of parcel depth with these parcels also inhibits the intensity and scale of any commercial development. When you think about accommodating the need for sewage systems and drainage fields that would have to be put on this on these parcels. As you said, the master plan, future land use plan within the county's master plan recommends commercial land uses. Although note that the master plan does not differentiate between commercial uses, but does recommend commercial uses here at this intersection here in these 2 subject parcels. For this rezoning application, staff recommends approval.
Any questions for staff? I have one. If we put these 2 parcels together, will we have the problem that we've had like a month or 2 months ago with adjoining streets? Or where was that?
Are you talking about access?
Dwello, what's that, Dwello?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Highway in.
The way I understand it, they're just doing the application under, they're not combining, they're just applying under the same
Oh, okay.
application.
Okay, so we're not joining, we're just taking both lots and changing.
Rezoning it.
Right, yeah, I mean, if they just don't want their lots to be split zoned, if they buy some land from that C2 parcel to the north, then we'd have a situation where we got 2 C1 and C2 parcels that are, it'd be kind of a split zone situation, so,
Okay.
yeah.
We'll ask the applicant to come forward. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or in the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Please state your names and address for the record.
Greg Farron with Pentel Properties, 3150 Highway T, Forestdale, Missouri, 63348.
Okay. And
My name is Dustin English. I am at address 3152 Highway T, and that's off at intersection of T&D. Is there?
go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to follow up. The main reason was to change the zoning from C1 to C2 because of the adjacent land that is undeveloped. and with the hopes of purchasing additional acreage to make it 3 acres, to also move our septic because there's no utilities out there, and expand it and upgrade that. And that's the main reason for the 3150 Highway T. Currently operates as a gas station convenience store, and there's really no changes to, as far as the business. It's just mainly just trying to upgrade some areas,
Okay.
parking and septic, et cetera.
Okay. Do you have,
I just second that, so.
okay.
Yep, yes, sir.
Any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you.
Okay, yes, sir.
We will now open the public hearing for RZ 25-04. Anyone wishing to speak? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dinoff, County Public Advocate. This rezoning is for use of a current gas station, convenience store, and a tavern. It appears that they want to purchase additional land to expand their parking lot. And they're asking to go to a C2 commercial district. It aligns with our 2030 future comprehensive and future land use plan and map. The recommendation of the staff is to approve, and my recommendation is it has little to no impact on the neighborhood of changing the zoning. It has little change in consequences, and therefore I ask for unanimous approval of a recommendation of the County Council by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak regarding RZ 25-04? Anyone? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing and bring this back to the commission. Anyone have any questions for the applicants? Any questions for staff? The chair will entertain a motion to approve RZ 25-04, which is changing the current zoning of 3150 Highway T and 3152 Highway T from C1 Neighborhood Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Shell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Honeywell made the second. Ms. Barr, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
Mr. Shell?
Yes.
Ms. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Baker?
Yes.
And Mr. Cornwell?
Yes.
And I vote yes. That application passes. Next on our agenda is zoning map amendment request located at 3216 Highway Z. This is application RZ 25-05. Property owner is Douglas David Hollander Revocable Living Trust. Applicant is Bax Engineering. The current zoning is A Agricultural District. The proposed zoning is RR Single Family Residential District, minimum 3-acre lots. The 2030 master plan recommends rural residential land uses. The rezoning area is 52.146 acres. The location is 3216 Highway Z, located on the east side of Highway Z at the intersection of Dyer Road. This is also located in Council District 2. Staff.
All right. The purpose of this application is the rezoning of 5 adjacent parcels totaling 52.146 acres from A Agricultural District to Rural Residential, Single Family Residential District, with the intent to develop a 15-lot subdivision per application PRE 25-TAC-06, which will be heard today. That plat that's been submitted is consistent with rural residential zoning. The location is 3216 Highway Z. We're just on the east side of Highway Z and the intersection of Dyer Road. Notification letters were sent out. This is a 2,000-foot radius that the notification letters were sent out, 146 of them. All agencies were notified, school, fire district, and all utility agencies, 0 responses for this rezoning application. As the parcels stand zoned agriculturally, the applicant has the ability to go through the minor subdivision process with 5-acre lots. And that would be staff reviewed and staff approved. The rural residential zoning will decrease that 5-acre minimum lot size to 3 acres and then would require the platting process and planning and zoning commission approval. It also requires streets built to county standards as well when you go through the platting process. The rural residential zoning kind of prohibits a lot of the agricultural land uses, except for horses and private stables, and cultivated plots are still allowed in this zoning. The surrounding land use, if you take that 2,000-foot radius, there's 146 parcels that range from 1 acre to 75 acres, with the median parcel size being around 3.3 acres. So showing that this kind of rural residential development fits within that pattern. If you draw a mile circle, you'll find a couple 3-acre subdivisions already out here. New Melly Lake Estates, platted in 1978, has 26 lots totaling 93 acres. That has a median lot size of 3.07 acres. To most recently in 2023, Saxony Ridge, which is just southeast of down Highway Z about a mile, 28 lots, median lot size of 3.01 acres, totaling 95.9 acres. And that rezoning was from agricultural to rural residential. The thoroughfare plan, kind of confusing here. It's easier to show on a graphic, but trying to connect Deer Road to Dyer Road and Hopewell across these subject parcels. I don't know if you can pull that up, but okay. So you can see kind of that east-west connection there. Deer Road connecting Hopewell and Highway Z there. So those are the subject parcels right around there, and you can see how Cedar Lane goes east-west all the way to Hopewell at the very end to the right of that screen there. So you can kind of see how this this development plays into the thoroughfare plan. Utilities for water, Public Water Supply District 2 will serve this area, and on-site wastewater treatment systems for sewer. The future land use plan per the county master plan recommends rural residential land uses for these subject parcels here. And staff believes it complements the existing development patterns within the area. For this rezoning application, staff recommends approval.
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, we'll ask the applicant to come forward. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Charles Wardle, 221 Point West Boulevard, St. Charles, Missouri, 63301.
Go ahead, sir.
I'll pull this up. How do I get that onto there?
Your
Okay. I put together a quick PowerPoint, but I'll start talking until, oh, there it is right there. So this is kind of our layout. I don't know which layout you currently have in your plans. We updated the plans this morning off of county comments we received last week. And we did submit them this morning, so I don't know if they put the new plans in. So you might still have the old plans when you get to the preliminary plat. But these are the new plans that we've been going through because we had a problem with site distance. In the site distance where it was originally going to intersect, the easement would have been on the property across the street, so we had to move it, so we kept all the easements on our own property and wouldn't have to go and get a side easement from anybody else or move fences or cut down trees, so we kept it all on our property. But this is a 52-acre subdivision. We're looking for 3 acres. Currently, along the northern side, you can see the creek. That's Little Dardine Creek. There is a floodway. That floodway will be within common ground per county rules. Each lot averages, I'm gonna make sure I get it right for you, 3.09 acres. On the master thoroughfare plan, we did meet with county highway and roads out there to talk about how they wanted to connect to Highway Z, and the terrain where they wanted to connect isn't conducive to where They wanted to put it in because it's pretty hilly right there. So talking with County Highway, they said they would be more than happy to kind of move it. So along the southern side, I think I can move it here. I can't move it here, but along the southern side of the plans, on the bottom left-hand side, you'll see that we gave an 80-foot wide easement so they can actually connect in and be perpendicular to Highway Z. We're keeping 23.2 acres of the trees, which is over the amount that is required by county. And I'm here to answer any questions.
Any questions? And so all the lots will be connected by your interior street
By the
to the
interior street, yes.
cul-de-sac?
Yes, sir.
And I'll go ahead and ask this for someone. Does the cul-de-sac meet county standards for school buses and fire trucks and
Yes, sir.
ambulances?
It does. The cul-de-sac is 55-foot wide. The radius is 55 feet.
Any questions for the app?
Is it paved?
Yes, sir, will be paid to county standards because it's RR, so we'll have to meet the 26-foot wide pavement, 50-foot wide right-of-way.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
We'll open the public hearing for RZ 25-05. Anyone wishing to speak? You solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or the pains and penalties of perjury.
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Nathan Harms, Executive Director, Treehouse of Greater St. Louis, 332 Stable Lane, Wentzville, Missouri, 63385.
Go ahead, sir.
All right, good evening, members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Thank you for the opportunity to share our concerns with you tonight. I'm here this evening on behalf of our nonprofit organization and board of directors to express concerns regarding application RZ 2505 and application PRE 25-06 for neighboring property. Please allow me the opportunity to introduce Treehouse of Greater St. Louis to you if you are not familiar with our organization. Some of you may be familiar with our, we were founded in 1975 as Therapeutic Horsemanship. Treehouse is one of the oldest and largest premier accredited centers in the nation. The cornerstone services that we provide are equine-assisted therapy. It is far more than a pony ride. In our therapeutic environment, licensed occupational therapists, physical therapists, professional counselors, and certified therapeutic riding instructors work together with over 100 specially trained volunteers that come from our community. In addition to, of course, the 15 to 20 therapy horses that we rely on to deliver weekly therapy services to hundreds of individuals with disabilities and their families. The majority of individuals we serve reside, go to school, work, and contribute right here in St. Charles County. For Treehouse, our serene natural surroundings are not an aesthetic choice. They are a foundational component of our therapeutic model. To further illustrate the impact of our services and the concerns shared by stakeholders, I would like to read a letter to you from Larry. Larry is first and foremost the father of Lily, who has benefited from Treehouse services for many years. He also serves on our board's executive committee. To St. Charles County Planning and Zoning Commission. The Treehouse community has been notified that the county is entertaining a change in zoning for a neighboring property. We are not in favor of any changes to the neighboring property without a full discussion and consideration of the unique programming done at Treehouse. My daughter has been riding at Treehouse for 23 years. We have been involved at its prior location in eastern St. Charles County and helped with the move to the property off of Highway Z. Every week on Tuesday, we drive to the barn for a hippotherapy session. I've also been on the board of directors for 6 years and am currently the treasurer. Treehouse is a world-renowned, highly specialized, unique therapy service for me and hundreds of other families. We have not been able to find any other providers in the region that provide the programming that Treehouse has. My daughter uses a wheelchair, is nonverbal, and has limited hand use. Treehouse's program enables her to use her limited muscle abilities, provides a huge amount of self-esteem, and motivates her to continue to learn and grow. The property also provides therapy for me as a parent and caregiver, with a unique pause in the hectic schedule of the week. The barn, animals, property, staff, and volunteers at Treehouse create a moment of respite for us. There is no other program that employs this full therapeutic experience in the region. The proposed change in the surrounding property could jeopardize all of this. While progress is understandable, it's imperative that the county closely investigate the impact that any development would have on Treehouse programming and property. The barns, pastures, trails, and overall serenity of the space are an intrinsic part of the experience and the benefit that Treehouse provides to this most vulnerable population. It is unique and unduplicable. Please employ the highest level of due diligence prior to approving any changes to this area of the county. Any development will certainly impact my daughters and others consumers' experience at Treehouse. I'm wrapping up here. If I could just have another minute. Treehouse of Greater St. Louis shares these same concerns. Increased traffic, construction noise, landscaping equipment, amplified music, social gatherings, fireworks, potential brush fire hazards. We've had one before that's was quite an occasion for us. Curious kids in close proximity to horses and electric fences, along with other common residential activities, will alter a carefully maintained environment and pose a threat to the tranquility and the safety of everyone involved in our programs and surrounding areas. Many of the individuals we serve have heightened sensory sensitivities. For them, and for our therapy horses, prey animals by nature, sudden or unfamiliar disturbances can be unsettling. Even highly trained horses can be startled, posing significant risks to the vulnerable individuals they are carrying and others around them. These are just a few examples of concerns we have discussed as we've worked to process the applications in a short amount of time. We look forward to a full discussion of the ramifications to Treehouse, surrounding areas, and current and potential future residents prior to approval. In closing, as we celebrate our 50th anniversary this year, we reflect on the decades of community support that has made our work possible and enabled us to build our permanent, community-supported and driven therapeutic home on Stable Lane. We respectfully ask for your consideration and assistance in helping to protect invaluable therapeutic services that just cannot be replicated in other settings. These services are vital to not only Lily and her family, as you've heard, but to the hundreds of children, adults, and veterans with disabilities and their families who are currently participating, to those who are on our wait list, and to the many more St. Charles County residents who will continue to seek our services as a valued community resource. We invite you to visit us to experience firsthand the unique environment and services we've described this evening. Thank you for your time, your dedicated service to St. Charles County, and for your thoughtful consideration of our concerns.
So Nathan, how would this affect your community? I mean,
So-
Where are you located in relation to this?
yeah,
Um,
I'm looking at the maps.
We are about 100, it's weird down at the corner, you know where Spall Farm is?
We can pull it up on
Bring it
the,
up on the thing.
It looks like we're about,
nope.
it's proximate, it looks like it's about 100 feet-ish.
If we can get the PC, oh, there we go. I believe it's this parcel right here.
Yeah.
Where's the subdivision?
It's going to be over here.
And how many acres do you guys have?
We have 75 to 77,
Okay.
according to the assessor's
So it
site.
kind of bumps up to you, to it or not? It barely
Not
touches it.
Yeah.
Just down the corner,
Maybe-
it's just barely touching.
technically, yeah, well, yeah, semantics.
So do you use that bottom section a lot?
So it's not just, so we have horses that we spread out on all of our pastures. And so we also have trail networks, sensory trail networks. So we
I'm
use,
familiar with it, I'm just curious. how
we
you-
use our therapeutic environment. So it's not only just that section, because our networks,
Are any of these other subdivisions affecting you then?
they're not that close. And the density on Cedar Lane is nothing like this. So our neighbors know us there, and if we ever have any issues,
So what would you be comfortable with?
well, I think we would like a full discussion of our concerns.
Yeah, I think that's left the building already. We're up here talking about it now, but what would you be comfortable with? Is it 5 acres? Is it currently in the condition it's in, or what?
I can come back with that as an nonprofit organization, the board of directors.
Yeah.
I would need to talk with. I opened this letter on the 9th, so we've worked as hard as we could.
Sure.
Our board meeting was just this Monday. We absolutely would like to discuss this further.
Can I ask, how large are the parcels on Cedar Lane?
I believe, the staff, are you asking me?
Well, whoever knows. I mean, you have, the parcels on Cedar Lane appear to back up right to your property, much closer
But
than this would.
The
So-
houses are up on top, so it's floodplain down there. So there's the field that is adjacent to us.
I'm looking at this, here, Cedar Lane goes down here, and then on the north part, your property backs up right there with yeah, right there. It's like,
So there's a buffer field
okay,
to the south before you hit the ridge line that goes up to Cedar Lane.
okay, so how far away would you say those houses are from your land?
I would need to look at a map.
And you think-
But the
and you
density
think
is
these
not
new-
15, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
You think the new houses are gonna be significantly closer than those?
We do have the concerns with the increased noise, the increased individuals, and it's not, yes.
I say they're maintaining a pretty good sized tree line between your property and the plat, from what I'm looking at.
If you look at the preliminary plat,
Yeah.
you gotta look at not just the zoning, but, I mean, the properties in the back, there's gonna be hardly any houses actually touching here, just one, looks like to me.
We would still appreciate a full discussion. We have what we believe is very serious safety
The only
concerns.
thing we could do here is ask them to table it, and I don't think they're gonna do that, so.
Just for, if you can see on that map, the blue and hatched area, it's all floodplain. Anything in between that blue bounds is floodway and has to be dedicated into common ground. So there wouldn't be any houses in that area.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be as understanding, because I mean, I know what you guys do, but, you know, it's really tough for a commission to come up here and say, we're gonna change the plans on the person. They gotta present their plans, and the discussion, while we're having some of it now, we're gonna be probably voting on this tonight, just so you know.
Yeah, and your operation is leaving, is that the building?
Yeah,
Well, that's your building right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We use our entire property. The therapeutic environment is what is the difference. When we moved off of Highway K in Weldon Springs, which is now a subdivision, we specifically were able to acquire this property from Arna Brackensek, as she wanted it to remain with a community benefit. And so we've been able to build it from the ground up to support what we did not have in our other places. We have concerns from parents, from board of directors, from volunteers. It's not just the location that a house may not be situated because of the floodplain. It's the additional noise. 100 feet is nothing for a child to be curious. Horses attract people. We have electric fences. We don't have that current issue right now. We're in the business of mitigating risk
So
and
Nathan, I'm just
serving
gonna
the
tell you right
community.
now that if he kept it the way it is, he could put 5-acre lots in there right now, and he'd still have housing on there. He could put up to 10 houses on there right now, just to let you know. And he wouldn't have to be in front of us on it. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak regarding RZ 25-05? You solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings and the pains and penalties of perjury.
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Arnie C., AC Dinoff, County Public Advocate. I'm in favor of this proposal, although I do hear the last person who testified. And I will have some recommendations for some conditions to add on the preliminary request, which is the next public hearing. But on this rezoning, I'm in favor of rezoning this parcel from agricultural to rural residential, single-family residential district, minimum 3-acre lots. There's little to no change or consequences on the community, and I hope I can alleviate with a proposed condition in the next public hearing. This is livable and smart growth. I'm a big believer in private property owner rights, and the private property has, the owner has the right to do with what he sees fit within the parameters and the zoning regulations. The city of O'Fallon, less than a mile away, and the city of Lake St. Louis, less than a mile away, have very high-density parcels and subdivisions that are currently underway and have been approved by unincorporated county, the Planning and Zoning Commission, the county council, and the city councils of the city of O'Fallon, the Board of Aldermen of the city of Lake St. Louis. There's about 4,500 parcels to be developed in the next coming years. This application falls within the recommendation of the 2030 countywide comprehensive and land use plan and map. The applicant has said that he's going to keep the tree preservation at the highest levels possible. And so therefore, I have to ask that the Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommend approval with the recommendation to the county council at the next meeting. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak regarding RZ 25-05? Anyone? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing for RZ 25-05. Ask the applicant to come back. Anyone have any additional questions? Yes, sir, Mr. Baker. You have any I thought you were moving your hand. Thought you were raising your hand.
No.
Anyone have any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you. We will now bring RZ 25-05 back to the commission for consideration. Any questions for staff, comments?
I mean, my only comment would be it's just 5 houses different, is what it is. So no matter what, there's gonna be some development on that property. I'm in favor of property rights too, and I like to see people be able to do what they want with their property when it meets our planning, so.
No, that's the only thing I was gonna say too. We're talking about 10 verse 15, and to me, this is a breath of fresh air, knowing that all up and down Z, we've had requests for 1 acre lots and even smaller, so this is awesome, and I think I'd be in support of this. This is great.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve RZ 25-05, which is the rezoning of property located at 3216 Highway Z from agricultural district to RR single family residential district with a minimum of 3 acre lots.
So moved.
I think it was Ms. Barr. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Cornwell makes the second. Mr. Shell, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
Ms. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Cornwell?
Yes.
Ms. Barr?
Yes.
And I vote yes. That passes. Now is preliminary plat for 3216 Highway Z. This has application PRE 25-06. Property owner is Douglas David Hollander Revocable Living Trust. The applicant is Bax Engineering. The current zoning is agricultural district with FF floodway fringe overlay district and floodway overlay district. Proposed zoning is RR single family residential district, minimum 3 acre lots. Proposed lots are 15.29 dwellings per acre. The parcel area is 52.146 acres. This is located at 3216 Highway Z, located on the east side of Highway Z at the intersection of Dyer Road. This is in Council District 2. Staff.
Yes, sir. The purpose of this request is the approval of a 15 single-family lot subdivision comprising of the 52.146 acres at 3216 Highway Z with a minimum 3 acre lot size. This was paired with the prior rezoning application, RZ 25-05. Letters were sent to adjacent landowners. In this case, agencies were all notified of 0 responses. Staff analyzes this application based on the technical requirements of Chapter 410 of the Unified Development Ordinance. So the county thoroughfare plan on Highway Z shows a future right-of-way width of 100 feet north of Dyer Road and 80 feet south of Dyer Road. Although MoDOT doesn't require dedication of right-of-way, the preliminary plat shall be designated to accommodate these future planned expansions. There's also the connection on Cedar Lane, as the applicant was saying, trying to connect Cedar Lane to to Dyer Road up there, we found infeasible with the county highway department, roads and traffic due to the topography. But we compromised on requesting some additional right-of-way there at the intersection to reconfigure to make the intersection more of a T there at Cedar and Highway Z to make it safe, which the applicant has agreed to reserve that right-of-way for us. Additionally, on Cedar Lane to the north, we've requested 15 feet of additional right-of-way that applicant has agreed to reserve for us as well for additional expansion in the future. Access will come off Cedar Lane. From the plat that I've reviewed, have not reviewed the one that was submitted today. But access off Cedar Lane, the interior street must be constructed in accordance with county public street standards and paved. Each lot must take access from this interior subdivision street. In terms of utilities, water supplied by Public Water Supply District 2 and sewer on-site wastewater systems. As the applicant said, there's water courses to the north. That's the Little Dardian Creek. So the floodway per the ordinance has to be platted as common ground, which it is in the current plat that we have. And this totals about 3.09 acres. As far as tree preservation, per the county charter, development must preserve at least 10% of the site or 25% of the existing trees, whichever is greater. In the case of this plat, 8.83 acres is required, and as the applicant stated, he is preserving over 23 acres of trees on this development here. So staff concludes that this plat meets the technical requirements of Chapter 410.
Any questions for staff?
Do we have the current corrected one that he's brought up in our presentation?
I don't have it; just got submitted today. I haven't looked at it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll ask the applicant to come forward. This is a different application, so I have to swear you in again. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Charles Wardle, 221 Point West Boulevard, St. Charles, Missouri, 63301.
Okay.
I forgot to thank the staff last time for doing an awesome job with the rezoning, and thank you so much for doing an awesome job with the preliminary plan. If I could get them to pull the screen up again for me, please. Like I said earlier, we submitted the new plans today via the comments from the county. This is a 15-acre subdivision. We are trying to keep as many trees as possible, and I do feel his concerns with the therapy catty corner to our property. That is also why we have so many trees in that. I mean, we have a lot of trees in that area, so it should keep down a lot on the noises through there. And during the construction time, construction only happens during daytime. I don't know when the therapy actually happens with the horses and the children, but most of the time, all the construction will be during the daytime. I'm really here to answer any questions you guys have. Is there any questions I can answer for you?
I want to know specifically what's changed other than their recommendation. So if they want to bring that up, I mean, it's really for the betterment. It's better than what we have in front of us, correct?
Yes, it is better.
But it hasn't been submitted to, I mean, should we, I don't know. You know?
What was the major change between what
The biggest change was the site distance. We wanted to keep the site distance off the property across the street, so we had to move the entrance. And once we moved the entrance, we got rid of one we had two cul-de-sacs in the original design that you guys see in front of you, and we got rid of one cul-de-sac. Now we only have one cul-de-sac.
Okay.
So we moved the entrance further up Cedar Lane towards Highway Z, so we get a better site distance. And be keeping all those easements on our own property that are now going to be in dedicated right-of-way that we're giving to the county. So all the easements will be in that right-of-way.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so your new plan is what we had up here earlier.
Yes.
It just showed the one
Street.
road and the cul-de-sac.
One row with the 55-foot radius cul-de-sac at the end.
Any other questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
We will now open the public hearing for PRE 25-06, which is preliminary plat for 3216 Highway Z. Anyone wishing to speak? Do You solemnly swear or affirm that you tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings, or the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Nathan Harms, Executive Director, Treehouse of Greater St. Louis, 332 Stable Lane. I would just request that our prior comments on the zoning amendment be reflected under this application. Also, we operated off of the preliminary plat that was posted, and I did check prior to 5 o'clock. According to the prior agendas, I did not see an updated one there. While it does not have an impact on the zoning amendment, I feel that we did not review that information.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings, or the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dinoff, County Public Advocate. In terms of the preliminary plat, first of all, I have praise and kudos for the applicant. According to my calculations, it's pretty close to 50% of the tree preservation according to our county charter and our county codified ordinances. So I give them kudos for saving over 50% of the trees on the overall property. As I said, this is smart growth. This is dividing, having 15 homes on 3.4764 of acres. And so in my opinion, that's smart and responsible growth on behalf of our county. It meets our 2030 comprehensive land use and master plan. When it comes to the neighbor, first of all, I wanted to say the chairman brought up about the turning radius. That's one of my standards to make sure and ensure that school buses will be able to fully turn within that development. So a full turning radius of school buses in the development, and to make sure that first responders, primarily the fire protection district and county ambulance district, have ample access to any cul-de-sacs in any of the residences in times of emergencies. Dedication of the right-of-way, I think that that's the proper thing to do in this case, to require the landowner, the applicant, to give the right-of-way for any future road upgrades and safety enhancements, which will be needed in the future for both the state and county highways that border this property. Now, when it comes to the Treehouse Horse Ranch organization, which I'm sure it's a not-for-profit 401c designation, and they probably rely a lot on donations. I heard the applicant's testimony. I sympathize with the executive director. I would like the commission to consider a recommendation of a condition that a line of white pine spruces be planted within whatever the radius is according to a horticulturist. I don't know if it's 7 or 10 feet apart, but something that would be a type barrier, a landscape barrier. We're not requiring a fence. A type 2 or a type 3, I believe, would fall in our county codified ordinance and guidelines of a type 1 landscape barrier. And so a line of white spruce trees that border I believe it's a Treehouse Horse Ranch. I'm not sure their official name. But I think in this case, to ensure that their tranquility and their mission of their organization is intact. They have invested a great deal of money and in developing the property, and so I think it's the proper thing to do in this case. You've done it in other applications and other requests through zoning matters before this commission, and so that would be my recommendation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak regarding PRE? Sir, you've already spoke. Anyone wishing to speak regarding PRE 25-06? Anyone? Does anyone want to ask him to come back? Or?
I'm curious as to what Nathan was going to comment.
Okay.
Something about the trees, Nathan?
Yes, and I've been at Treehouse about 16, 17 years. We've never dealt with a proposal, so we're don't know how it all works. So we know there's several steps, and we did talk about potential things to do to mitigate. And as I hear the gentleman that shared one, we've talked about a privacy type fence, something to prevent if there's a storm drain or a retention pond, something to prevent curious kids from running over to our property. So again, we talked about some of those things. We just didn't know exactly when to bring those up. We wanted to start with our concerns, share what we did and why we had the concerns, and then we have talked internally about other potential things that could help us. So that would be a privacy fence to prevent people from coming to our property. The trees would assist with some of the noise abatement. And I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to share our thoughts.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak regarding PRE 25-06? Anyone? We will close the public hearing, ask the applicant to come back. Any questions for the applicant?
How much, I'm just curious, how much tree cover do you have between the property that abuts the treehouse?
Can I get this to turn on, please?
Yeah. In the back, can you bring that back up? What he had earlier. There it is.
Okay, so this is the color rendering. Their property is on, their property actually doesn't touch our property.
Right.
There's a
That corner.
buffer
Yeah.
of the property to the north that actually touches theirs. Actually, you can see on that right-hand side, on the east side, all that dark green is trees.
Yeah. So you really don't need to put anything else in.
You got a creek there too.
And we do have the Little Dardine Creek.
How wide is the creek? I mean, is it tiny that a kid could jump over, or is it pretty good size?
Depends on if it rains.
I was gonna say, if it's raining, you know, it's a little, it runs.
It
but during the
doesn't
dray
matter.
sign-
Are you kidding me? Kid's gonna do what, I mean,
Well, I mean,
Come
if
on.
you're looking at Dardine Creek and Legacy Park in Cottleville,
They'll
nobody's
swim
jumping over
across
that.
it.
That's, 20
swim
feet.
They'll swim across it. When I was a kid, I'd swim across that.
During the dry season, I think it's about
The
5
worse
foot
it
wide.
is, the better.
During the rain season, the banks are approximately 20 to 20 feet wide. I don't know 100% sure. I would have to go back and measure it, what the actual bank to bank is, but we do have the buffer off the bank as well.
Nah, you got enough trees back there.
So we're not talking about like a 3-foot creek that
No,
somebody's
we're
gonna
not
jump
talking
over.
about a 3-foot
Okay,
wide creek.
this is a large.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty high too. I think.
Any other questions for the applicant? Hearing none?
Thank you so
sir.
much.
Any comments, questions, concerns regarding PRE 25-06? Any questions for staff?
Yeah, I just have a question. Like, we approved this plat. They have a different plat on your desk. Is that new plat going to come back to us next month? Should we be tabling this to actually look and see what the actual plat is? We're voting on something that they've already changed.
Very often, preliminary plats that's approved by this body goes through a process of refinement over a period of weeks or months. And it's oftentimes that a preliminary plat approved by you will have little minor adjustments that may take over a series of minor adjustments that may take up to 6 months. However, I would say in this case, it seems like that the change has gone beyond what county staff had asked them to do, in that there seems to be one cul-de-sac rather
Right.
than two. So it wouldn't hurt, honestly, for me to review the revised plat, just because it differs, it appears to differ from what our expectations would be. Because our comments were, for instance, to dedicate some right-of-way along Cedar Lane and just a little bit at the corner of Cedar Lane and Highway Z, so we could have a T intersection and some things like that. But so I don't know. You could do it either way. You could approve it knowing that there's going to be adjustments and that it has to meet continue to meet the technical requirements of Chapter 410, or you could table it and look at what was submitted today at the next meeting.
Yeah, because there was a picture earlier where right now it's a T with two cul-de-sacs, and this is one entrance and just one cul-de-sac at the end.
One straight line.
One straight line. But now the final plat would have to come back, doesn't it?
Not the final plat. The final plat would have to be in conformance with the signed preliminary plat.
And you
Yeah.
sign off on that
Yeah.
later, that's fine.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, I'm comfortable voting on it now, but, I mean, I don't know what the commission wants to do.
I mean, ultimately, the final plat staff's reviewing to make sure it's got, meeting the technical requirements of the subdivision regs. So,
My understanding is that when we're talking about preliminary plats here, we're basically just voting, does it meet the requirements or does it not meet the requirements? There's not really an opinion piece in
Right.
here. So if it doesn't meet the requirements, you guys aren't going to pass it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of a black and white situation. Either meets the technical requirements of Chapter 410 or it doesn't. And also, just for reference, we don't, and I don't think it's even possible to condition plats. For instance, placing a line of trees. But I would note that what's being proposed, there's a narrow kind of point to the eastern end of the property, and that point is one lot, and it's Darden Creek, where they have to preserve the trees anyway. So if you put a line of trees, you'd be putting a line of trees in this at the end of this point, at where Darden Creek is, and it doesn't even actually touch the other property that we're talking about.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion to approve PRE 25-06, which is preliminary plat for 3216 Highway Z. This is parcel area is 52.146 acres and proposed 15 lots of 0.29 dwellings per acre. Is there a motion?
so moved.
Mr. Crowell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Kirshner made the second. Mr. Baker, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Marr?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
Mr. Shell?
Yes.
Ms. Kirshner?
Yes.
And Mr. Cornwell?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Both the rezoning and the preliminary plat will be on the county council's agenda on Monday, June the 9th, 2025, right back in this room.
Chairman?
So
Sorry,
we-
just the rezoning.
Just the
Just the
rezoning, yeah. The preliminary plat was final, yeah. The rezoning will be on the county council's agenda on Monday, June 9th, back in this room. Now, I've lost my agenda. I've lost it. I've lost the agenda. Oh, here we go. I've got it back. Okay. Next item on our agenda is a re-subdivision plat for Lot 1 of Sunny Slope Farm located at 23 Forest View Drive. The application is PRE 25-05. The property owner is David Wilms and Mary Wilms. Surveyor is Fraser Land Surveying Services Incorporated. The current zoning is A Agricultural District with Floodway Fringe Overlay District. Proposed lots are 2, and the parcel area is 9.52 acres. The location is 23 Forest View Drive on the north side of Forest View Drive, approximately 3,200 feet east of Deer Creek Drive. This is located in Council District 1. Staff.
Yeah, so I prepared a presentation, if we can pull that up, to help visualize the case. There we go. This is a lot of stuff you just covered. The property is located just south of Highway P. It actually borders the city of O'Fallon to the north. The zoning is agricultural district with floodway fringe overlay district. Parcel size is 9.52 acres. Says proposed lots 2. There's 2 existing lots. I'll explain that a little bit further.
Ma'am?
Shake hand. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So as you can see here, the 23 Forest View Drive is the southern lot. To the north is a vacant lot that's mostly floodway fringe overlay. It's a part of the Sunny Slope subdivision, so it's kind of strange. It actually flows like a normal subdivision, but the houses to the west are actually part of a separate subdivision called Forest Green subdivision. There's only 4 lots in Sunny Slope. And just up there to the north, like I said, is Highway P. And there's 3 apartment buildings that are within the corporate limits of the city of O'Fallon. What the applicant's requesting, you'll see on the left side, is the existing lot layout. You got that outlot that's not a part of the subdivision to the north, and you got the lot 1, which is a part of the subdivision. The little rectangle is kind of a rough estimate of where the existing house is. You'll see that the existing acreage is 3.59 acres for lot 1, and the outlot is 5.93 acres. Over on the right, you'll see the proposed lot layout, making it lot 1A and lot 1B. So they're moving the lot lines around and bringing both parcels into the subdivision. The new acreage after the adjustment is 4.28 acres for lot 1A, and for lot 1B, 5 acres. I know that we said the zoning is agricultural. Currently, the minimum lot size for agricultural zoning is 5 acres. Sunny Slope Farm was platted in the 90s when the minimum acreage requirement was 3 acres. So the way that they're actually configuring the new lot layout, they're actually getting closer to that 5 acre minimum lot size rather than making it more non-conforming. And obviously the new lot is 5 acres. Kind of what I just said, but we're going from 3.59 to 4.28 and 5.93 down to 5. It might be a little hard to see, but there is at first we thought that there might be a utility service based on the easement to the city of O'Fallon right there, labeled as number 1, but that's actually a sludge force main that takes biosolids to the treatment plant to the north of Highway 79. Number 2 is the existing septic for the existing house. We wanted to make sure that the existing septic stayed on the lot with the house, just in case, someone sells the house in the future. The septics are all in the same system. 3 is where the proposed septic for presumably the house to be built is going to be, and then 4 is going to be a shared well. And the county doesn't permit wells. The Department of Natural Resources is the permitting body. So one of the considerations we looked at, most of that northern parcel as it exists is in the floodplain or a vegetative buffer. And you can see actually how it's about 75% of the current parcel. With the proposed plat, they're changing that. The floodplain's still there, the lines don't move, but in essence, they're minimizing how much floodplain is on each parcel, and they're basically taking that lot that's not in the subdivision and making it a lot that can be developed now, versus as it currently exists. I think, yeah, right there, it says 2.14 acres will now become developable land outside of the regulated floodplain. Also, there's a pretty sizable natural water course buffer up there due to a blue line stream that bisects the property. These buffers, they got to stay intact, similar to the last preliminary plat. None of the vegetation or anything like that can be disturbed. Typically, it's placed in common ground and maintained by a homeowners association. For lots that are larger than 3 acres, that's not required, so it would be up to the property owner to maintain that area. And finally, the kind of caveat to re-subdivision plats, especially when you're incorporating land outside the subdivision into the subdivision, the Planning and Zoning Commission has the authority to review private covenants and restrictions that exist for the subdivision they're going into. Typically, the most typical document that I would say that you see in restrictions and covenants is like a roadway agreement. But like in this case, Forest View Drive is privately maintained, so that might be of relevance to the commission. So with all that being said, staff advises that the proposed plat meets the technical requirements of Chapter 410.
Any questions for staff? Seeing none, I ask the applicant to come forward. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings, or the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
David Wilmus, 23 Forest View Drive, O'Fallon, Missouri.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Originally, I had the 3.59 acres. This is all family property. It's my wife's family farm. There's like 60 acres total there. And all her brothers live within this subdivision. It's a private drive. And my daughter and son-in-law are wanting to build a house. So we thought, since we had 9.52 acres, maybe we could possibly put that house on that vacant lot next to us. So that's what we're trying to do.
Okay. Do you have any type of agreement regarding the upkeep of the road with the other property owners?
They're all family, so we just gotta, I think we do have an agreement. It's maybe written up when we first moved in back in the 90s. But, you know, it's, it's one of those things. But we all get along, and, you know, it's all family.
Yeah, okay.
It always lasts.
Any questions for the applicant? Any additional questions?
Good for you that your family still gets along.
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay, thanks, sir. We'll now open the public hearing for PRE 25-05, re-subdivision of plat lot 1 of Sunny Slope Farm. I mean, this is the right one, yeah. Located at 23 Forest View Drive. You solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings, or the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dinoff, County Public Advocate. I'm in favor of PRE 25-05 at 23 Forest View Drive. It's 2 lots. Lot 1A will be consisting of 4.2 acres. Lot 1B will be consisting of 5.00 acres. In my determination, this is responsible and smart growth. This is a family type situation. It meets our 2030 comprehensive land plan. There's no detriment or no effect on adjoining property owners. Therefore, I ask unanimous approval of the Planning and Zoning Commission to recommend to the County Council on June 9th. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak regarding PRE 25-05? Anyone? We'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission for consideration.
Motion to approve PRE 2505.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Fromm made the motion, Mr. Shell made the second. Mr. Cornwell, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Shell?
Yes.
Ms. Kirshner?
Yes.
And Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
And I vote yes. That passes. Okay. That leaves us down to, we have no tabled or continued items. This is the approval of the minutes of the April 16th, 2025 meeting. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections? I have one correction. Chair will entertain a motion that Mr. Dinoff's comments on FWK 25-01 be listed under all of the temporary conditional use permits, firework permits in those minutes. Chair will entertain that motion. Is there a motion? So moved, Mr. Fromm. Is there a second? Motion been made and second to amend the April 16th, 2025 minutes. All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Now the chair will entertain a motion to approve the amended April 16th, 2025 minutes. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the amended April 16th, 2025 minutes. All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Minutes are passed. Planning and zoning division updates. Robert, anything?
Excuse me. Sorry. May have received an email from us mentioning that we're looking at changing the template for our staff memos, because we've used the same template for years and years, probably a couple decades, honestly. So, with that being said, we're interested to hear what you think works with our current formatting, what doesn't work. If there's anything you'd like to see added, would you like to see more graphics, hyperlinks, pictures, less analysis, more analysis, whatever you're thinking. And sort of hand in hand with that, you may notice sometimes that the agendas that are posted online, the formatting is a struggle because of the limitations of the software that the county uses for the posting the agendas. So what we're thinking about doing, and I need to work with Brian on this question, but what we're thinking about is having abbreviated on the agenda itself, having an abbreviated form, and then linking to that the details, all the details like we have on the agenda currently. So if maybe the agenda would say like an address and then the nature of what they're wanting to do and maybe an account number, something like that. And then you click on that, it brings you to all these details that you see currently on the agenda. And again, it's in large part because of the limitations of our software. It's just really hard to format. Anyway, those are just a couple of thoughts. I have noticed that, like City of O'Fallon, for instance, they have their agendas don't have nearly as much information. It just has kind of an abbreviated, and then you click on the link, and then you get 200 pages of whatever. But anyway,
I trust you guys.
if you have any thoughts or anything, just let us know. So,
how's the work from the consultants going?
For a master plan?
Master plan.
It's going well. So where we're at right now, I took a couple notes on this question, but they've completed the 100-plus page existing conditions memorandum, and it's basically like the background report for the master plan. Created the summary of the visioning workshop outcomes from January. They're drafting the vision goals and key recommendations for the master plan itself. They're preparing a future land use framework and defining future land use categories as well. I think those will be different than today for various reasons. At least what we would propose to the Master Plan Steering Committee is that they'd be different from today. It's really going to be up to the Master Plan Steering Committee and for the public and everyone else with their input to figure out exactly what gets proposed to the County Council for adoption, but this is what we're working on currently. And then the next big step would be to begin drafting a future land use map as a basis for the Master Plan Steering Committee so that they could create a draft future land use map. So that's where we are, right? There's not necessarily, right now you're not hearing about a lot of things necessarily, but there's a whole lot going on behind the scenes as kind of laying the groundwork, this foundational groundwork for the next step of the Master Plan Steering Committee. And now this week we're going to be talking with the consultants about when the next meeting would be for the Master Plan Steering Committee, and then holding some sort of work session with them.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for staff? Comments?
Yeah, I just want to, you guys always do a good job handling these meetings, so Laurie, even don't want to exclude you, so thank you.
Thank you.
I said, your staff reports are way better than what I used to write for the City of O'Fallon 10 years ago. So that's my.
I don't want to say that, Chad.
Yeah.
All right. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.